Students, what's happening? It's me again. I hope things are going well for you. I am sitting in my car again. I'm not sure what day you'll see this because, maybe the snow is going to stick around. I don't know. We'll see. But today we got to talk about imperialism. Well, mostly I had to talk about imperialism and you have to sit there and watch. But this is the best way I know how to do this. So if this is tedious for you, my apologies. Imperialism. Imperialism is just the idea, it's just a word for the idea that a powerful country is taking over and controlling a weaker country. That's it. Imperialism, a large, powerful country takes over a weaker, smaller, less powerful country. That's it. So imperialism, it kind of sounds the same as empire, same idea. An empire is when one powerful country takes over many other countries. That's imperialism. I wanted to start today with a quick quote that I thought was super cool. Again, we're talking about the Gilded Age time period, roughly 1890 to 1910. This quote comes to us from the Washington Post newspaper. It's an editorial, so it's from the opinion page of that newspaper from 1896. And the writer of this is talking about the new feelings, the new excitement of imperialism that is spreading in America. This is what he says. A new consciousness seems to have come upon us, the consciousness of strength, and with it a new appetite, the yearning to show our strength. Ambition, interest, land hunger, pride, the mere joy of fighting, whatever it may be, we are animated by a new sensation. We are face to face with a strange destiny. The taste of empire is in the mouth of the people, even as the taste of blood is in the jungle. It means an imperial policy, the republic, meaning America, taking her place with the armed nations, meaning Europe and everybody else. I thought that was cool. Again, talking about these feelings of empire, these feelings of, hey, America's got to get in on this action of taking over other countries, expanding its influence. That was going on in the Gilded Age. So, what continent, question 2 on the notes, what continent was really being taken over? Africa. Plain and simple, Africa got carved up by European countries. Every country in Africa got taken over, was colonized, was imperialized by European countries, except Ethiopia and Liberia. They were the only two countries on the continent of daggone Africa that did not get taken over. Every other country in Africa got taken over. Crazy. But these European countries were really spreading out their influence. One of the biggest countries with imperialism was Great Britain. The saying is that the sun never sets on the British Empire. The sun never sets on the British Empire, which sounds cool. What does it mean? It means it's sort of like that song. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Well, the sun is shining somewhere on the British Empire. The British Empire covered daggone a quarter of the known world. Not the known world, the globe. Like Britain controlled a quarter, like 1/4, 25% of the world. So they owned a bunch of it. So the saying was, sun's probably shining somewhere that Britain controls. So that's crazy. So there it was. So it's commonly taught, the textbook, most textbooks say that there were 3 reasons why America wanted in on this imperialism thing. First, economic competition with those countries, with other countries, mostly with Europe. Economic competition with these other countries. So what does that even mean? Like, what's going on? Well, America's factories needed raw materials and to make more stuff, and they needed customers. They needed people to buy their stuff. They saw foreign trade as trade with other countries as a solution to overproducing, overproducting, overproducing. That's the word I was looking for. Overproducing stuff. They were making too much stuff, and they needed workers, and so they were able to, that was kind of a drive for America's spread overseas. America's exports, what the products that we shipped out and sold to other countries. At the end of the Civil War, 1865, America's exports were at $234 million. $234 million. That's a lot of money, $234 million at the end of the Civil War. 35 years later, 1900, the year 1900, exports were at $1.5 billion. $1.5 billion. So our exports grew tons. We were shipping tons of stuff overseas and selling it to other people. So that was going on. Our factories were taking care of business. A phrase I want you to know, balance of trade. The balance of trade. Okay, so you got the balance. But the balance of trade simply means how much are you selling compared to how much are you buying? So balance of trade we're talking about in terms of the country as a whole. Is the country mostly exporting, selling a bunch of stuff, or are we buying a bunch of stuff? Not really producing much ourselves, are we buying more stuff? So, that's the balance of trade. Balance of trade, again, is the difference between how much a country is buying versus how much it's selling. Ideally, you want to sell more stuff than you're buying, right? Same thing, if you look at your own personal budget, you want to sell more stuff. You want to bring in more money than you want to spend. That works out well. That's a little financial tip for you. So that's balance of trade. So how did our favorable balance of trade help us out? Well, or what did it do for us? It made us a world power. Because we were able to sell more stuff and bring in a bunch of revenue, we were able to become a world power. Our factories were booming. We were hiring a bunch of people. Immigrants were coming from overseas. More people were getting jobs at factories. Factories were humming. They were making stuff. They were selling stuff. We were taking care of business. You also had all the problems of the Gilded Age, but we've talked about that. This is imperialism, baby. That's what we're talking about now. So, let's see. Number 9, question 9. What's the second factor traditionally taught as a factor for, or a reason for American imperialism? Political and military competition. The idea is if there's a strategic spot, you want to capture it, you want to take control of that strategic spot so that you can use that strategery to influence other parts of the world. If you want to get the high ground, you want to get the strategic spot and control that spot. And that's one of the reasons why Americans wanted to do this imperialism thing. We wanted to gain control of these different territories so we could use them as naval bases and to protect our shipping. That was mostly what it was. That was mostly the military goal. We built to this end, with the goal in mind of controlling these other countries, we built the third largest navy. All right, so, we didn't really want to be cool and make the first or the second biggest navy. We made the third largest navy. All the ships were painted white. It was called the Great White Fleet, which is cool. But we built the third largest navy, and so there's that. And then the third idea, the third reason given for America's and many countries' desire to get in on the imperialism thing was the Darwinist evolutionaries thing, the idea of whites being superior to blacks. So you have that idea. So those are the 3 reasons that are given by textbooks for why America got in on the action of imperialism, why a lot of these countries got in on the the action of imperialism. Okay, 3 reasons why many people see colonization as wrong. First, they say, hey, controlling foreign countries, too expensive. Too expensive. That's a lot of money. Too expensive for the military. You can look at any war. All wars are expensive, but trying to control a foreign country is super spendy. And people say, dude, it's not worth it. Spend that money back here in America. Too expensive. Number 2, people said, hey, it's not right that we would control people in other countries while not really extending to them the protections of personal rights that the Constitution provides for Americans. These these colonies, or these countries that America would take over, they would not be extended rights as protected by the Constitution. So people said, dude, that's hypocritical for us to go into another country, take it over, boss them around, use their stuff, and not protect their rights. You could even argue that taking over somebody's country is like the biggest violation of rights right there. You could argue that too. And then 3, think about who's doing what are we talking about here? We're talking about America imperializing other countries. We started as colonies. We started as part of the British Empire. Why would we colonize other countries? Isn't that kind of how we formed? We fought against that. We said, this stinks. We hate it. We're out of here. Why would we do that to other countries? So those are the three big reasons. You can probably come up with more, but those are 3 reasons why Americans historically and some today would say, hey, imperialism is wrong. It's too expensive. It's not right because we're not extending to those people constitutional rights. And third, it's hypocritical because, hey, America started when we kicked out Britain. So there's that. Okay. I'll see you in the next video.